Well, I've been living in Tornado Alley for 20 years and I never get tired of it. We're supposed to have tornadoes this evening and it's certainly shaping up that way. And I thought I'd come out here and just shoot this for a moment, and then I will be speaking with you about tornadoes and how to prepare.
Hey everybody, it's tornado season and I want to talk to you guys about that. I was reading an article yesterday about the amount of families that have migrated to the Midwest from California. They're leaving California, Oregon, some from Washington, many from the East Coast. So a lot of those folks have never been in Tornado Alley. They're not familiar with tornadoes, and this could be their very first tornado season. According to the Google Analytics, the majority of the people that watch videos on my channel, I don't understand this, but they're not my subscribers. So with that being the case, there could definitely be people that will be watching this video that are new to the Midwest, and who are going to be experiencing their first tornado season. So I thought I'd make this video to help them get through it and have some information that could be very helpful. And I think it's important for everyone to hear. So I'd ask all of you that live in the Midwest to listen up, even if you've been through tornadoes before. I still think it's good information. So here we go. So the first thing I want to say, though, is if you want a link to a very good tornado safety document, if you email me, I will send you the link. It's a really good document. I think you'll like it a lot. It's just laid out really well on things to do to prepare for tornadoes and to deal with them. So it's there. If you want it, just ask, get an email, and I'll send it to you. Okay, first thing of importance is to have a plan. You definitely need a plan for you and your family, especially if you're new to tornadoes. They can happen without much warning at all, sometimes without any warning. You have a time period where seconds count. They can count. And it's very important that you have a plan and know exactly what you're going to do and how you're going to get through your plan in case of a tornado. So I've listed some things that not only you need to know, but also that you need to have in a tornado situation, okay? So here we go. First thing you need to do is get to an inner room. If you live in an apartment or a house or anything that doesn't have a storm shelter or a basement, you need to get to an inner room, the innermost room in the house. Avoid windows. If the innermost room of your house is a bathroom, then go in there. If there is a stairwell in your house and it's in the pretty much the middle of your house, get under the stairwell if you have to. A stairwell being under those is a pretty good place to be. Of course, if a tornado is going to hit the house, it's really risky to be in the house at all. But if that's all you can do, then that's all you can do. So in a bathroom, in an inner room, under a stairwell would all be great. If you're in a bathroom, one of the biggest suggestions that are made is to get in your bathtub and either have heavy blankets or a mattress or something that you can pull over you in the tub to protect you from flying debris. That's very important, okay? What else? If you have kids, you need to practice with your kids to be able to get to the storm shelter or inner room or basement as quickly as possible. Now, the inner room to your house, that's not going to be too difficult as far as time-wise. You can get there really fast. If you have a basement or an outdoor tornado shelter, that can be different and can take a little more time. Now, if you have pets and you've got to get your kids and your pets down to the basement or into a tornado shelter outside, you need to practice for speed to be able to do that very quickly because seconds do count. And a lot of us have pets. I have 4 dogs. I wish I didn't, but I have 4 dogs, and I've always had to get my kids all four of them and the dogs down to the basement quickly when the tornado warning siren went off for our town. And let me tell you, getting 4 kids and 4 dogs to the basement takes time. A lot of the time the kids aren't paying attention, or they're not running, they're not hurrying like they should be, and you got to get after them a little bit. Of course, trying to get the dogs, they're freaking out because the tornado siren's going off. Animals can sense it and feel it through the barometric pressure and all in the air. They know when something bad's going to happen. And a lot of times they just get nervous and start running around, and they don't obey commands very well. One time I actually had to kind of shove my beagle down the stairs into the basement, and unfortunately he tumbled down the stairs. He's fine. He was fine. It's happened years ago, but still, they don't always want to go down into the basement. So you need to practice that because it can take time. Now, if you're in the basement, if possible, if your basement has several rooms, go to a room that does not have a window in it. A lot of basements, like the room I'm sitting in right now, has a window that you can't see, that it's up and behind me back here. That window is covered because I don't want flying debris coming into the room. If we had to be in this room, we don't. We have another room in the basement we can use, but I don't want glass flying around in a basement. So those windows are covered. So I would encourage you to do the same thing if you have a basement with a window in it. Avoid that room and try to use another one. Also, it's a good idea if you have a basement and it has several rooms, to be in a room that doesn't have something really heavy above your head, like a piano, a gun safe, large, heavy items, a huge hutch that's loaded with dishes or something. You want to avoid having really heavy items above your head, if you can, in a basement. When a house gets hit, it gets shaken really bad before it actually comes down and blows apart. Now, in a lot of cases, they blow away, but sometimes they just shake really bad and they can get loosened up and collapse. As that's happening, the floorboards above your head can get loose. And when there's a lot of weight on those floorboards, things up there can fall into the basement. So if you can avoid anything over your head, do that. If you have a basement that has a desk or a table or something in it that you can get underneath it so that it's not over, you're protecting yourself and there's nothing over your head and flying debris that's going to hit you. Just like you would if you were in an inner room in your house, a bathtub or whatever, try to be sure you have some kind of mattress or heavy sleeping bags or blankets or something you can pull over you to protect yourself from flying debris. Okay? Very important. All right. It's also important to have a predetermined place to meet after a disaster. A lot of times we're all at our different jobs. My wife is in several cities away from us when she's at her work. As I was saying, my wife is several cities away from us when she's at her job. So a lot of us can be separated and still have people at home, or just separated in a disaster. And it's important to have a place where everyone can meet up when there's been a disaster so that we can all find out how we're all doing and make sure everybody's okay. So keep that in mind. It's important to have a place to go after a disaster. Now, I took a lot of notes. I have a lot of notes written down here. If you're in a car or a truck, it's really risky to begin with, to be in a vehicle around a tornado, okay? It's not the best place to be. There is no safe place in a vehicle with a tornado coming at your vehicle, okay? There's just not. Best thing you can do is buckle up your seatbelt tightly so that you don't go flying out of the car if if your car or truck gets rolled in a tornado or thrown around. Avoid overpasses. Don't go under bridges. People have this misconception that, well, if I go underneath the underpass and I go up on the side and I'm there, I'll be safe from the tornado. No, you won't. Underpasses don't do anything to protect you from a tornado. Now, you can take my word for that, or you can look it up yourself and find out. They do not help you in a tornado. And one of the big problems is everybody thinks they do. So when there's a lot of traffic and there's an overpass, people will automatically try to go under it and park underneath it. While you're under there, if a tornado hits, all those other cars are missiles coming to your car, okay? Or your car is a missile that's going to get thrown into somebody else's. That's not the place to be. Now, if you're driving and you're in the Midwest and there's a tornado coming and you have nowhere to go, if you can, avoid being around trees and buildings. If there's a low place that you can get into, like a ditch on the side of the road, get out of the car, lay in a ditch, cover your head with your arms, get in the lowest part of the ground you can, and stay there. If there's a culvert, a lot of times you'll see these country roads where the road's one thing and then this dirt road's going off, and the dirt road goes right over a round storm drain. It's just a concrete culvert that the road is going over, so that the creek bed or the ditch, when there's water in it, can flow through to the other side. They're not very big. They're only, maybe 12 feet wide, something like that. But if you can get in a culvert, get in a culvert. But lay as flat on the ground as you can. Get to the lowest part of ground you can, but don't be around trees or buildings or power poles. Unfortunately, there's just no safe place in a car or out in the open when there's a tornado. There's just really no safe place to go. If you're driving and you see one and you have a chance and you see a building you can get to that's not in the tornado's path, run to that building, drive to that building, get there as quickly as you can. That's the best you can do. Okay. Now, I want to share with you some items to have in your basement or your storm shelter. Now, this is where a lot of people miss the mark. They really mess up in this area. These are very important, and any agency that is well educated in tornadoes will tell you these same items. They're very important to have. So listen up to these items. You definitely want a battery-powered radio so that you can hear what's going on as far as a tornado goes. If the alarm goes off, the tornado siren in your town goes off, and you run to your basement, and there's a power outage because your house got hit or a power pole went down, you're not going to know how things are doing, and you don't want to just come out of your hidey hole there any sooner than you have to when you don't know what's going on outside. So have a radio and listen to the radio. Make sure it's a battery-powered radio that you can listen to for news and information about a tornado in your area. Definitely have more than one flashlight with brand new batteries in it. Make sure every year you put in new batteries. Popular name brand. Don't buy, nickel cad batteries or something like that, some cheap dollar store batteries. Don't buy those. Buy the name brand batteries that I'm not going to say here on the channel because I can't, but you know what I'm talking about. Copper top batteries, okay? Make sure you have extra batteries for those. Prescription medications. If you're on prescription drugs and you need those, you should have some in the basement. So you want battery-powered radio, flashlight, any medications that you have to have. You need a really well put together first aid kit, just in case, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how long you may be trapped in a basement. And if someone's hurt, you need a first aid kit. You should have copies in your basement of your birth certificates or important documents, because if your house gets blown away and you don't have copies of those, or the only copies you have are in your house, you're going to lose them. So you may want copies of those in your basement as well. Any type of, certificates, your car ownership things, titles, stuff like that. Social security cards, insurance policies, those kind of things that we've been through before that you should have in your bug out bag. You need those in your basement as well if you're in Tornado Alley or a place where there's hurricanes. Insurance policies, a will. A lot of folks have a will, but again, if it's upstairs in your house and your house gets blown away and you're in the basement, you're going to lose all that. So it's a good idea to have a copy of a will in a basement. And then, of course, you want an inventory. And I kind of wrote this one out, but you want a list of contents in your home for insurance reasons, okay? The best thing to do is to have lists of serial numbers where they're important. Have all your serial numbers of your items written down if they're things that you need serial numbers for. Take pictures or videotape of all your valuables in every room, okay? In every room. And keep those in the basement so that they can be shown to an insurance company. They will help you greatly if you can prove you had an item. If you can't prove it, they're not going to listen to you at all. So every room of your house, you need to videotape things and take pictures of, and then keep copies of those down in your basement, okay? Any kind of jewelry or painting or collectible items or silver or gold, you need pictures or videotapes of all of that. Okay, it's very important to have these things. Anyway, a lot of folks don't think of this, okay? These are items that are very important, very important. Doesn't seem like a lot, but a lot of folks don't put prescription drugs and birth certificates, things of ownership. They don't videotape the contents of every room in their house or take pictures. Those things are very important because when a tornado strikes, you no longer have a home. Everything is gone. Okay? All right. That's it. I just wanted to share those things with you because it is tornado season. I was going to put on this video, I may have already put it on. You might have seen it, or I'll try to remember to. I have a picture of rotation right above our house just recently, this last storm, and you can actually see the rotation and a little bit of a tail dropping down right over our house. I stood outside and took the pictures and videoed it, and it was pretty creepy to watch that just go round in circles above my house. So I'll try to remember to include that picture for you guys just for something to see. But that's it. Thank you for subscribing. I want to also make a quick shout out and thank KKR for her generosity and for the gift that she sent me in the mail. That was really, really cool. Very much appreciated. Very much so. Also, Chris Yoder, I want you to know, you said that you had, you hoped that I was enjoying the item that you sent. I haven't got anything. I'm sorry. If you sent something, email me, please. Get a hold of me. Go to the About section, Chris, and email me, and we can talk about it because I haven't received anything. For those of you who have been helping and donating to our PayPal and Patreon and through my P.O. box, sending us stuff, I really appreciate the help very much. Really, really appreciate it. It does cost money to do this. I live in a very rural area where just our internet alone is $100 a month. Just to have the internet with speeds enough to be able to upload to YouTube and do this stuff. Just for that. That's not counting the house phone or cell phones or anything else. So it's expensive and it adds up. So I appreciate you guys' support. As another note, and I hope you guys will listen to this to the end. On my channel, I just created some shirts and hats and coffee mugs and all that kind of stuff with the Kansas Prepper logo on it. I will be adding some other items on this merchandise shop over time, but I do have at the top of my YouTube channel page, there's a link there that you can click on. You'll see a little icon. Just put your mouse over it and it'll say what it is. But there's a link to a merchandise shop there that I created. Also, it's in the About section as well. So the links are there. If you guys want to grab a hat or a shirt, Kansas Prepper shirt or something, that would be great. It would help support my channel, and I would really appreciate it. Be advised, if you guys do that, that before you check out with your item, they will give you a chance to customize it. Down at the bottom, you'll see it. You just got to look around. Click Customize, because if you buy a shirt and they just show the big Kansas logo right in the front, Kansas Prepper here, and you want it smaller or larger, or you want it shrunk down and put over the chest here or something, you can adjust that logo within a given frame and move that frame around on the item you purchase. Don't just take for granted that it's going to come out the way you want it to, okay? They show the picture of it over all the clothes, but you need to adjust it. When you put the mouse on it and click on it, you'll see that you can customize it to make it fit the way you want. Excuse me. On the coffee cups, my logo on the coffee cup that I got, I had to enlarge it to fit the box that they put, the space they give you, so that it fit properly on the coffee cup. And then they let you do it on one side, and then you can go up to the customize under design. You can click design, and the logo's there again. And if you had a coffee cup and you wanted the logo on both sides, so no matter what handle you grab, the logo is there. Totally up to you. But if you do, you can add a second logo to it on both sides. They give the ability to customize anything you purchase. So look around and don't just put it in your cart and take it the way it is. Customize it the way you want it to be. Okay, that's it. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Sorry it's been a while since I put out a video. Sorry for the coughing. I've had a really bad head cold. I feel better today. I haven't done a video in, like 5-6 days. That's why. So we're back at it. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Take care. God bless. Bye.